I've always wondered, why do people want to prevent people from committing suicide or want to restrict methods of committing suicide? I've always wondered, why do people want to prevent other people from escaping this terrible place? Restricting methods of suicide in general is just abhorrent and cruel. Now, on method restriction, here's an example. Like gun control. Okay. Now, on the topic of gun control in general, gun control doesn't stop gun violence, of course, but it could be argued that it will greatly reduce it, but people will still get guns illegally. It won't actually solve the issue of gun violence. And same thing with abortion. If you try to just ban abortion, people are still going to get abortions illegally. So going to the extremes to try to solve problems doesn't work, except for one thing, and that would be mass suicides and human extinction. But that's for another video. Now, but briefly on that, most people would say, well, that won't solve the problem, it won't actually fix the problem, it will just eliminate the problem, which is exactly the point of it. Mass suicide and human extinction would eliminate all problems, period. But that's a topic for another day. Back on method restriction. Now, the thing is, in my last video, I talked about euthanasia, which is painless suicide, and why most countries don't allow it. But the thing is, the number one deterring factor of suicide, and the only thing that really deters people from committing suicide, it's not because of their loved ones or their family and giving life another chance and all that bullshit. It's because of the pain. People hate pain, and that's just a natural neurological response. Our brains hate pain, and our brains have major survival instincts programmed into them, which is why it will put up a fight when you try to commit suicide 9 times out of 10, unless you use a firearm, where it's just quick and easy, quick and done like that. But in other scenarios and other methods besides firearms, your brain will put up a fight and it will be extremely painful. So with that at mind, the only thing that really deters people, 90% of the time, from committing suicide is the pain. So when government, society takes major restrictions at restricting methods of suicide, it lost my train of thought, but it really is just a way to control people, to make sure they stay, because the thing is, and back on gun control, people paint the picture for gun control like they care about gun violence, and by gun violence I mean homicides, for homicides, mass shootings and all that. But the truth is, not only do we live in the safest times in human history, but the thing is, the people that are on top, the elites, the truth is, people that own guns, gun owners, they're more likely to commit suicide than to commit homicide. And it's overwhelming too. Gun owners are more likely to commit suicide than to commit homicide. More than 50%. Probably 60% realistically, around there. So they paint the picture as if it's to stop homicides, when in reality, deep down, and most people don't know it, because most people can't think that deep, they're really just trying to stop suicides. Now, lots of people think, oh, that's good, but it really isn't. Because why the fuck are you forcing people to stay here? That's really just not fair. And it's all about the element of control, which is why I hate government so much. They're all authoritarian. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter what political philosophy you're on. It's all authoritarianism at the end of the day. That's the point of a state. That's the point of a sovereignty. That's the point of a government. It's to control. That's why they put religion, morality, and culture. It's basically crowd control. That's just their means of doing it. But I'll get to that in another video as well. But my point, it really isn't all method. Method restriction really is all about element of control. Because the truth is, if they really wanted to care about you, why would they throw you in a psych ward, which is worse than in prison? Why would they throw you in a cycle if they're really trying to help you? They don't give a shit. And they can't help you anyway. They just want to, and by they I mean the elites, they want to profit off as much off you as they physically can. Energy-wise, depleting your energy, your worth, value, whatever the fuck. You know, humans don't have value. Human life isn't inherently valuable. That's also for another video. And that's another thing with suicide prevention. People that are all about suicide prevention, they think that human life is inherently valuable, but it's not. It really isn't, because humans weren't even meant to exist. It just happened. In fact, you weren't either. The only reason you exist is because your parents made a selfish decision and decided not to use protection. That's the only reason you exist. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, this thing with suicide prevention, they think that human life is inherently valuable. And it's the same thing with natalists, people that want people to continue having children. They think that human life is inherently valuable and it's special, when the truth is it really isn't. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we were not meant to be here, and life does not have a meaning. No matter what you say won't change that. Yes, existing is rare to some degree, that 1 in 400 trillion bullshit statistic. Sure, life in it as itself, this reality could be an extremely rare fundamental phenomenon as it is, but that doesn't mean that it's inherently valuable, especially since there is no meaning to it or purpose whatsoever. And I just went on a whole downward spiral on the value of essentially the zero value that human life has. But anyway, back onto method restriction. It's all about the control, because they know that a lot of people won't commit suicide if it's extremely painful. There will still be people that do it because they're that desperate, and they'll go through excruciating pain to escape this place. But they know that most won't. And that's a big element for gun control. Because the truth is, suicide with a firearm is quick like that. It's quick. You don't see anyone get up or thrive in pain, or let alone even be conscious after shooting themselves in the head with any firearm. You don't. It's because it's quick. And any other form of suicide besides euthanasia, which is painless suicide, is long, excruciating, and painful. Any other method, it is. The elites know this. The elites know that most people won't commit suicide if it's excruciatingly painful. And they know that they can get control out of you and force you to still participate, contribute to the society. And therefore, by doing that, continuing to make them profit and give them more power. It's strange. It's really strange. It's really ironic. Imagine this. Imagine for billions of years, blissful unawareness, just oblivion. And one day, you exist. And now, for the rest of your existence, you're going to be forced to do things for other people. You're going to be forced to exist for other people. You're going to have to get on and hop on the fucking boat like everybody else, doing whatever the fuck it is for your time. Doing whatever the fuck, whatever trend, or whatever else society dictates or tells you to do, because it's right for them and it helps people, and this and that, and this and that and the third, and this and that, and all these other things. And the truth is, non-existence is better. Non-existence is bliss at the end of the day. Not existing would be preferable to that, because nothing bad comes from not existing. Nothing painful comes from not existing. There is no suffering to not existing, but there is to existing, even if you get some pleasure out of existing, which sure you might, but there will always be more suffering than pleasure, and that's a fact. Life is suffering, and that's that.